video message from the Swedish ambassador, Mr. Claes Malin. So I hope if technology is working, we're going to hear a video message from Claes. So please, Ambassador Claes Malin.
Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity of speaking today. It's always a great pleasure to be at the India-Sweden Innovation Day. Let me begin by congratulating the Embassy of India in Sweden, the Sweden-India Business Council and CII for the 7th edition of this successful and very important event. It highlights the important role of innovations, which is in turn one of the absolute cornerstones of relations between Sweden and India today. Let me also take this opportunity to welcome the Ambassador-designate of India to Sweden, His Excellency Mr. Tanmayalal, who is about to arrive in Sweden. And let me tell him and you how much we are looking forward to working together with him and his great team at the Embassy to take our relations even further and deeper. Welcome, Mr. Ambassador. The pandemic is already making us have to change and adapt, but that's exactly what innovation is all about. You reimagine, you rethink, and you reinvent to find solutions and to improve on the old, sometimes out of sheer necessity, as we are doing right now. Today's discussions will focus on the role of public-private partnerships in this new normal that we find ourselves in, and how to re-engineer the Indo-Swedish relationship where necessary. Innovation holds those keys. There's great scope to strengthen links between our universities, our research institutions, businesses and end users, from smart grids to digital health, from circular economy to artificial intelligence. The innovation partnership between our countries has strengthened since its announcement in 2018. Both our governments have allocated funding for multi-million calls under this partnership. As a consequence, business links between our countries will therefore continue to grow stronger and stronger and deeper, drawing us closer and closer together and creating jobs and prosperity, all the way from New Delhi to Stockholm and in many other places as well. We're all looking forward to hearing ideas from the panel today on how we can help to build upon this partnership for our country's mutual benefit. Thank you very much and good luck.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Claes Malin, for those inspiring words. And I now have the honor to welcome Ms. Anita Shukla, Chargé d'Affaires at the Indian Embassy in Stockholm. And just like the Swedish Embassy in New Delhi, you also are very active in promoting the innovation partnership from the Indian Embassy here in Stockholm. So, Ms. Anita Shukla, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Eric. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm delighted to address this panel on Sweden-India Innovation Partnership today. To begin with, thank you, Ambassador, His Excellency Mr. Claes Malin, for your remarks. Sweden provides one of the most innovative ecosystems in the world with its entrepreneurially spirit and innovation-oriented mindset. India, being the largest democracy in the world, offers huge opportunities for global businesses for their niche technologies, be it in the area of circular economy, digital health, urban infrastructure, artificial intelligence, sustainable urban development, or future mobility. India also has a large pool of a skilled workforce, and which is a great opportunity to international community to come to India, to not only pilot and test their innovative ideas, but also to innovate new technologies, conduct R&Ds, and make not only for India and Sweden, but also for global use. There is great scope for innovation to find solutions to the challenges posed by COVID-19 and work towards the new normal. India and Sweden have a strong innovation partnership. The signing of joint declaration on innovation partnership on sustainable future and adoption of the joint action plan during the landmark visit of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi to Sweden in 2018, and the high-level innovation policy dialogue that took place during the visit of Their Majesties to India in December 2019 provide an ideal platform for the innovation partnership to make full use of the complementary strengths of India and Sweden for mutual benefit. Experts from India and Sweden are in touch on various initiatives and sectors in the form of joint calls that are initiated from both sides from time to time. The new India of 2022 is emerging as an economic powerhouse with the state-of-the-art infrastructure, offering ease of doing business, with provisions for various incentives under Make in India, and India with focus on green economy and sustainable future. And India, which is becoming self-reliant while welcoming foreign investments and technologies to India. I'm happy to mention here that India-Sweden Healthcare Innovation Center, set up at AIIMS Jodhpur, in collaboration with Business Sweden, AIIMS Jodhpur, AIIMS Delhi, is already having many potential ideas in the healthcare field that will work for mutual good for the two countries. Before I conclude, I would like to convey my thanks to Erin from the Ministry of Enterprise, Dr. Science and Innovation Counselor at the Embassy of Sweden in India, who are moderating the panel today. I also avail this opportunity to compliment India Unlimited, SIBC, CII, and Startup India team for putting together this very meaningful engagement. My special thanks to all the expert panelists from India and Sweden, including DPIIT, Department of Biotechnology, Department of Science and Technology, Vinnova, InSTEM Group, Swedish Intellectual Property Office, Swedish Energy Agency for their participation. I wish them an interesting discussion today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Anita Shukla, for those fine remarks. And the next step for me is to open our panel session. And we have gathered here today to share insights and perspectives on the Sweden-India Innovation Partnership and learn from some of the key implementing partners about their work and future plans. So let me first quickly introduce our eminent guests. I hope they are online and connected, everyone. So with us today, we have Ms. Malin Petersen from Vinnova. We have Dr. Kalaivani Ganeshan from Department of Biotechnology. We have Dr. Louise Staffas from Formas, the Swedish Research Council for Sustainable Development. We also have Dr. Shadaram Sivaji from Department of Science and Technology, Mr. Anil Agrawal at the Department for Promotion of Internal Industry and Trade, Mr. Ludwig Lindström from the Swedish Energy Agency, who's sitting next to me here in the studio, and finally, Dr. Sanjay Kumar from the Department of Science and Technology. And you all have unique experience and knowledge about innovation promotion, international cooperation, and the Sweden-India Innovation Partnership. So we are delighted to have you with us. And to start, I would like to welcome Ms. Malin Petersen, Country Manager for India at Vinnova. Malin, Vinnova has cooperated with both Indian Department of Science and Technology and Department of Biotechnology for many years now. And you also have a very important role in supporting and funding bilateral research and innovation projects. So your collaboration with India covers a wide range of areas, from AI and digitalization, health, transport, smart cities, etc. When you look ahead, how do you think that collaboration with India will evolve in the future? Do you see that the COVID-19 crisis could present an opportunity to strengthen bilateral cooperation between India and Sweden?
Thank you, Mr. Åstedt. And yes, indeed, Vinnova has successfully collaborated with Indian counterparts such as PSA, DST, GITA, and DBT for more than a decade through joint calls, knowledge exchange, and strategic projects. And we really, truly value the excellent collaborations between Sweden and Indian innovation actors. And we'll look forward to the discussions today and the future collaboration, of course. And as iterated by previous speakers, the Sweden-India Innovation Partnership for a sustainable future has made us close partners on innovation. Thus, making India a natural partner for us when we encounter problems and challenges such as the COVID-19 crisis. DBT and Vinnova, we have already carried out a joint call on AI and health addressing COVID-19. And next week, the projects receiving funding under this call will be announced. And furthermore, Vinnova and DST are planning to open a call on COVID-19 within the following thematic areas: smart cities, including smart and sustainable transport systems, clean technologies, digitalization, and IoT. So please keep an eye out on our web pages, where we will share information as soon as it's available. Moreover, during the first quarter of next year, DST, DBT, and 5 research funding agencies in Sweden we're going to open a joint call on circular economy. And shortly you will learn more about it from Miss Staffas at Formas. Information about future funding opportunities and networking possibilities are always available at our LinkedIn group called Sweden-India Innovation Initiative. So please join this group. I repeat, it's called Sweden-India Innovation Initiative. If you join the group, you will stay posted, and it's also a place where you can find partners. And it's a great opportunity to evolve our cooperation now that we're much more accommodated to digital means of communication due to COVID-19. And looking ahead, I would like for us to look for larger common strategic innovation projects together. And the following areas are of particular interest: smart and sustainable industry, new materials, digital transformation and technology, sustainable and smart mobility, health, precision health, and life science, ecosystems for innovative companies. Through our innovation partnership, we have strengthened both our innovation capacity and our competitiveness on the global market. And to sum up, to continue the implementation of our innovation partnership, I hope we can make use of digital means of communications to jointly identify larger, common, strategic innovation projects together. So thank you very much for your attention, and thank you for a very successful event.
Thank you so much, Malin. Your work that you're doing is really important for the Innovation Partnership. And now I have the honor to introduce the Indian side, Dr. Kalavani Ganeshan. You are the country manager for Sweden at the Indian government's Department of Biotechnology. So, Dr. Ganeshan, your department has cooperated with Sweden on several exciting joint calls. With your portfolio, you have a unique opportunity to accelerate the transition to a sustainable society and help address some of the most pressing societal challenges, such as the transition to circular economy and everyone's right to good health care. So please tell us, why is it relevant for the Department of Biotechnology to collaborate with Sweden? And what opportunities do you see for the future?
Thank you, Chilla. So Malin had very well actually briefed on the partnership with Vinnova and DBT, which is actually more than a decade now. So we started on research programs in medical biotechnology. There were some joint research projects. We have made some good forays into the science and technology, especially the biotechnology and life sciences segment. And from 2018, it extended to the innovation partnership, wherein the focus is not just joint research, but also entrepreneurship. So we have connected this biotech startups with the Sweden startups, and now there was an incubator visit from India to Sweden, and a lot of learning has happened. And we have also set up some facilities for soft landing of the Indian startups in Sweden and vice versa. So the innovation partnership is extending into entrepreneurship domain, but we are not leaving out the research foray. And as Malin had just concluded. We had a digital healthcare call for proposal that just concluded. We are shortly going to announce 6 projects. These are very unique in the term that there will be a demonstration that will happen within the project duration. Earlier, the outcomes will be seen in terms of publications and patents, which are definitely a huge value. But here we are going to directly demonstrate some outcomes within the project period. So we also are excited because this is based on public-private partnership and it's a new mode of collaboration. And we look forward doing more innovative projects with Sweden. And with the circular economy call, the coming together of the large number of Swedish and the Indian agencies, we look forward to that. And we will continue our cooperation into new areas. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ganesan, for your reflections and thoughts and your good work. And now over to Dr. Louise Staffas. Louise, you are a senior research officer at Formas, and Formas is the Swedish Research Council for Sustainable Development. You are also part of the INTSAM group. It's a consortium of research funding agencies in Sweden. I think that it's really impressive that we now have 5 Swedish research funding agencies working together with India. And I know that Sweden and India plan to open a joint call on circular economy in 2021. So please, Louise, could you explain why Sweden perceives India as an important partner in circular economy? And could you give some examples of areas that are included in the joint call?
Yes, I will try to do that. Thank you very much for inviting me to speak. Circular economy is in many ways, as has been pointed out by both Ms. Shukla, Malin, and also Dr. Kalaivani, that is a very highly relevant topic for many nations, and indeed so also for India and Sweden. So having these funders working together both from the Swedish and the Indian side, we discussed a number of topics for such a joint call and agreed on the circular economy being particularly suitable for many reasons. As I pointed out, and several has before me, it's a very highly relevant topic. It's also very cross-cutting. It involves both research and innovation and demonstration as well. It involves technical areas, societal areas, and also touches very much on humanitarians. It is also very relevant for the society, for the political instruments, various instruments, and also for businesses, for development of technological processes, for business models. So you find stakeholders of the circular economy virtually everywhere, which makes it a very good topic to start our collaboration between the funders. And having this as a starting point, we have had a very good and fruitful work together with, even though the COVID pandemic has not enabled or inhibited the physical meetings, we have managed to move forward with digital meetings and workshops, and are now in the stage of discussing the fine-tuning of the call with different topics and aspects. Nothing is decided yet, but we can say so much as we aim to fund a call open for both research and various stages of innovation. And as I said, not only the technological projects, also various societal issues are very important. So I look forward to the continuing process of this collaboration. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Louise. Very nice to hear about this, and really look forward to the results and seeing some great projects. So I now move to our next panelist, Dr. Shadram Sivaji from Department of Science and Technology. Dr. Sivaji, you are the country manager for Sweden at the Indian government's Department of Science and Technology. And we've met several times, and I know that you've been the country manager for Sweden for quite a few years now. And I'm curious to hear a little bit how you would say that the relation between India and Sweden has developed over the years regarding the collaboration between DST and Swedish counterparts. Please. Please unmute the microphone, Dr. Sivaji. I can't hear you. Still can't hear you. So maybe we'll move to the next speaker, Dr. Sivaji. Could you please be on hold, and I will get back to you shortly. While sorting out the audio issues, I would like to invite Dr. Martin Lidén from the Swedish Intellectual Property Office. Martin, you are Senior Advisor on External Relations at the Swedish Intellectual Property Office. And your office has been collaborating with Indian colleagues for some time now regarding patents and intellectual property rights. And I'm curious, why is this relevant? Why and how would you say that intellectual property rights is an enabler for innovation? And how do you think that bilateral cooperation between Sweden and India can create benefits for innovators and innovative companies in Sweden and India?
Yes, well, thank you very much for inviting me to this session and this question. Well, we see over time that our economies are becoming more knowledge intensive. And with this, we also experience a shift as to the content of intangible assets. So today, intangible assets are much more important than tangible assets. This is a global trend. We see it both in India and Sweden, of course. And in some sectors, as much as 90% of the value can be made up by intangible assets. So this is why the Swedish Intellectual Property Office, PRV, and IP India, we share a common interest in raising the awareness, especially among small and medium-sized enterprises and also other stakeholders, as to how they can use IPR as a tool to support business development and collaboration. Now, this session is about co-creation, so I really want to stress also that IPR is not only a tool for protecting your business or building walls around what you have created, but rather, and perhaps more importantly, it can be an enabler of a joint or open innovation. So by using IPR and agreements, we can define what is yours and what is mine, and how we can share any outcome of joint innovation. This creates it creates trust between partners and allow them to share their results and solutions in a more controlled manner. So for this to work, we need, as I said, both awareness and knowledge, and we also need a robust system for registration and enforcement of IPR. And these are topics of our ongoing discussions between our offices. So we believe the cooperation and raising awareness will foster innovation and also facilitate reliable partnerships between different stakeholders in our countries. So Swedish companies can get access to the Indian market and talent and creativity, the booming startup scene, and India can benefit from tech transfer and know-how of Swedish enterprises. So with that, I'd like to thank you once again for inviting me to the panel, and just conclude that we are very much looking forward to continuing the cooperation with IP India. Thank you.
Great, Martin. Really good to hear about this. And now I'm wondering if we have Dr. Sivaji from the Department of Science and Technology. I mean, you are with us, but we had some problems with your audio. Could we try to connect you and bring you online here, Dr. Sivaji? As I said, I'm curious to hear about your experiences as a country manager and how you see the relationship between India and Sweden evolving and developing over the years. I hope we can hear you now. Let's give it a try. Sorry, Dr. Sivaji, there seems to be an audio problem. Well, I'm going to move on to the next speaker, and please stay with us, Dr. Sivaji. We will try to sort out the audio, and I will move on to the next speaker and get back to you soon. I now have the honor to introduce Mr. Agrawal from DPIIT. DPIIT is short for Department for Promotion of Internal Industry and Trade. And Mr. Agrawal, you are a joint secretary at DPIIT, and I know that DPIIT you are running many important startup initiatives in India, and India and Sweden are two vibrant startup countries with very strong startup communities. Could you please tell us a little bit about DPIIT and the role that you have in connecting the startup ecosystems between Sweden and India? Do you have any thoughts on that? Make sure you unmute your microphone, sir, because I think that we can't hear you. So I'm curious about hearing how Indian and Swedish startups could benefit from the work that you're doing at DPIIT.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And a very, very good afternoon to everyone. It is indeed an honor to be speaking at a distinguished panel like this, which is taking forward the cause of India-Sweden partnership. Just to give a background about what DPIIT does, our Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, launched the Startup India initiative in January 2016. And the idea was to build a strong ecosystem for nurturing innovation and entrepreneurship in the country so that we can drive sustainable economic growth and generate large-scale employment opportunities. It's been 5 years since January 16. And if we see what we've done over the last 5 years, now we have more than 40,000 startups recognized by the government of India across the breadth and length of the country. These startups come from 585 districts out of 730 districts. So you see the spread that is there in the country. 44% of these startups have at least one woman as a director. 45% of these startups come from non-metro areas. They are not coming from urban education centers. They are coming from rural areas, non-metro areas. And if you look at the sectors over which these startups are functioning, we have listed 48 industrial sectors of economy where these startups are registering their innovation. There has been tremendous growth over the last 5 years. We have 36 states and union territories as regional authorities. And out of these 36, we now have 30 states and union territories which have a specific policy to support startups and innovation in their states. That is the kind of support that our leadership has been able to garner for all the startups in the country. Very recently, we started to map the quality of the startups. For this, we instituted the first ever National Startup Awards spread across 12 different categories of industry, starting with agriculture, energy, education, going right up to space. And we have discovered some of the outstanding startups that are working in our country. These startups have been selected after a very, very detailed diligence process conducted by experts from the private sector. And we believe that these are the future of our economy. These startups have solutions not only which are suitable for India, they are suitable for the world. And that is why I believe there is tremendous scope for institutionalizing this partnership between India and Sweden. If I try to say what specifics we should be looking at, I would say the first thing is the program that is being conducted now, which starts with mentorship. I'm actually very happy to see the kind of structure that has been put up for the selected startups for mentorship program. Second, we could look at investor connect programs. There could be investors in Sweden who would like to invest in startups in India. We could have connects or specific programs which could be designed for that. Thirdly, we could have corporate connects. There are many companies which would like to take advantage of the innovation that we have in India and then develop differential products based on their existing portfolios. This is third thing. And finally, we are actually looking at international market access for our startups. So all the three things together will ultimately result into international market access to Indian startups. This is our agenda. We would like to have our startups access global markets. We would also like to have global capital getting invested into Indian startups. And we would like to facilitate any process, any institutional mechanism which can support any of these objectives. I am extremely happy to see the way India-Sweden partnership has emerged over the last 2 years when we sponsored 10 startups from India to the Stockholm Tech Fest, starting from there and now building up on a number of initiatives with Department of Biotechnology, Department of Science and Technology, and now with DPIIT institutionalizing the umbrella programs. The future positively looks very, very bright. I am extremely happy and I look forward to strengthening these ties from the Government of India point of view. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Agrawal, and really appreciate the work that you're doing and bringing startups, Indian startups to Sweden and having these kind of exchanges and people-to-people links are really, really valuable. So I'm going to once again try to invite Dr. Sivaji from Department of Science and Technology. Dr. Sivaji, it's really great to have you here on board and please let us try once again to hear your comments on the collaboration with Sweden from your perspective as a country manager. Please, Dr. Sivaji. Okay. Dr. Sivaji, you're not on board. Okay, I'm moving on. So now I'm going to have a short transportation here, and I am moving to Ludwig Lindström. Mr. Ludwig Lindström, you are Senior Advisor and Country Manager for India at the Swedish Energy Agency.
Yes.
And I know that the Swedish Energy Agency and the Indian Department of Science and Technology, you have an exciting partnership. You're covering areas such as the transition to clean energy, smart grids, etc. And I know that you will open a new joint call, and you are opening a joint call. Could you please tell us about this, and why is this an important area to do innovation activities?
Yes, thank you, Eric. That's correct. We have just now actually opened the call, and the call is about smart grids from a wider perspective. We are looking at consortia that are led by industry actors, project coordinators from both India and Sweden, and then they can build up their own team. And by doing that, we have India-Sweden collaboration teams. The area is smart grids, but from a broad perspective, and can include transport sector, construction sector, industry, of course, and so on. And now, why is innovations important in this area? Well, we're talking about climate change. Smart grids is one of the critical ways to create carbon dioxide-free energy systems. With digitalized, flexible, and interactive system, you can enable a more efficient use of the energy, and thereby integrate also the larger systems, already existing national grids, with small-scale productions. You can call it prosumers and so on. And then, as I said, transport sector, building sector, and so on. The project will go on for up until 2023, and we open it today and we close for evaluation in May 20th. So we're looking forward to B2B-led projects, including academia and research institutes.
That's great. And any further comments on the call? Encouragements?
Yeah, first is, of course, you find all the information at the websites on the Swedish Energy Agency and DST, and encouragement. Please help us with this work to accelerate the activities towards positive impact in the climate work.
Thank you, Ludwig. And I know that we have Dr. Sivaji with us with audio, but before I let you comment, Dr. Sivaji, we actually also have Dr. Sanjay Kumar. Okay, I'm in camera. That's great. So we also have Dr. Sanjay Kumar here, and Dr. Kumar, you are also from the Department of Science and Technology, and you are collaborating with Mr. Ludwig Lindström here. I know that India has very high ambitions regarding sustainable energy production and sustainable energy use. And the Department of Science and Technology is doing a lot regarding this, regarding research and innovation in the area of energy efficiency and storage, etc. Could you please tell us a bit more about the upcoming joint call? Why would you say Sweden and India are good partners when it comes to smart grids and similar areas? Please.
Thank you, and good afternoon to everyone. As India and Sweden both are working with a common vision to achieve the 100% clean energy. As the clean energy share is increasing in both the countries, so the smart grid area becomes more crucial and important for both the countries. In this regard, DST and SEA comes together for this innovative, collaborative industrial research and development program in the area of smart grid. DST has allocated rupees 18 crore for this 2-year research program. From the Indian side, the industry will lead, and if necessary, they will take the other industry or the academia as a partner. DST will support up to 75% of the project money in the form of grant if the project is led by the private industry, and up to 90% of the support will be given if the project is led by the public entity. I hope for this joint program will be helpful for the development of new product, process, or technology that will be useful for both the countries. I think from this side, I hope for the success of the program. Thank you very much.
Very much, Dr. Kumar. And we're running out of time, but finally, please, Dr. Sivaji, could you please comment a little bit on the collaboration with Sweden? Very briefly, because we're running out of time.
Very, very brief. Thank you, Dr. Eric, for this opportunity. And at the very outset, I would like to compliment both you and our embassy and Embassy of Sweden in India for organizing this very exciting platform today on the Innovation Day. And as you know, we have been, the India and Swedish cooperations are since long, almost we are about to complete 15 years. But now, at the last and first, I would like to say that the opportunities between India and Sweden are just unlimited, And we have been doing with Sweden very nicely. And so far, we have launched so many calls. And the latest being the call on computer science and nanoscience. We have supported 20 odd projects. And then Vinnova, we have recently launched this call on smart cities and clean technology. And we'll be launching many more to come. And this is very exciting period. And all this guide up after the visit of our Honorable Prime Minister to Sweden last year, before last year on April 2018. Since then, I think there is a very speedy momentum taken place, and we are just going on. And I look forward to work with you and other colleagues from Sweden. On behalf of DST also, we are very looking forward to work. And recently, I think we are expanding our wings also, not only between Vinnova and Swedish Research Council. Swedish Energy Research Institute also came into the existence now with this collaboration. And Energy Call also being, as my colleague Sanjay told, Energy Call also being worked out. And DBT, we are having very exciting programs. And thank you very much again for this opportunity. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sivaji. And this is the end of our session. I want to say a big thank you to all the panelists. Thank you for sharing these exciting examples of the collaborations within the Innovation Partnership. I also want to say thank you to everyone joining us, listening to this session. And from the Ministry of Enterprise and Innovation, we really look forward to continuing building the Innovation Partnership between Sweden and India in the spirit of co-creation and co-development. Thank you so much. And here comes